Hello, welcome to Action College online class. Today we're teacher Elijah, the teacher of English in Action College. Today I've brought you the new basic and advanced ways of describing different things in English using used to, be used to, and get used to. Without wasting much time, I would like to tell you that the one who's been asking yourself that how do I have to explain the past experience that I had, worry no more, today we're together and I brought you the things that you're going to be using.
Gana action, ni ushaka kwega indimi gana action, ushaka kuba umusire gana action.
As we have these three expressions on the screen, you can see the first is used to, the second is be used to, and the third is get used to. Today we are going to explain in detail how is every expression here used. With starting with used to, mainly it is used to talk about the past experience. When we talk past experience, here brings the sense of habits, brings the sense of the state, like the things that used to happen more often in the past. When you find yourself need to explain what you've been doing in the past weeks, in past years, you never know. This used to really helps you to explain the habit that you heard in the past years. As we see on the screen, we mentioned that it's used as to express the past habit. Here, the meaning of it is like the state that is no longer true. It's the past habit, and even expressing the state which is no longer true. Grammatically, as you see the structure here, they mostly have to have the subject plus used to and plus the base verb. When we talk about base verb, this is the verb in infinitive manner, like the verb is not conjugated. That's what we mean by the verb base. Then as we have like the first one, this person is really trying to explain the past habit. The example states that I used to live in Kigali. I used to live in Kigali. Before, like in the meaning, we have something which really sounds like no longer true. What do we mean by this? This person really, it was the habit in past years. That was the habit of like living in Kigali. He used always like to stay in Kigali, but now currently the person never lives to Kigali. That the habit has changed, of course. Number two, like as states here, she used to play football every weekend. She used to play football every weekend. To mean like currently now on weekends, he or she has another task that to do, the person that we are talking about. So this brings the sense of like expressing the habit, the state that you had in past. As we have be used to. Be used to kindly, like when we try to explain or give you the meaning of this and when it is used. Here, there is something that we mean by being familiar to something. Being familiar to something is being accustomed to that thing. Like you really have the sense of like adaptation. Like you really have the sense of like being familiar to something that you're going to talk about. And you really bring the sense of being comfortable. That thing really, be discomfort when you are in it or when you're doing it, but you are comfortable. Then here, the sense is that when you find that something that happened, the state of the thing that you're really comfortable with, you're familiar with it, or that you are accustomed to that thing, really be used to can help you to express that. And as we have the structure, mostly grammatical structure, because English or the language is always having the structure. And whenever you follow the structure of the language, really you give out something which is coherent and really accurate. Fluently, that person can get the message that we're really giving out. So you better have to really keep in mind that the structure of the language and every sentence that you're going to state has to be following and like has to be made in a manner that can't be with some errors or mistakes. So mainly you have to be having a subject. S there stands for a subject. You have to add verb to be. Verb to be here, I find that people that really try to mistakenly use this be in a sentence. No, we never write this be in a sentence, but we conjugate that be as the auxiliary verb to be. And then in present form, we have am. This is used with the personal pronoun, the first personal pronoun, singular, which is I. I is always followed by am. Whenever that you try to use this, be used to. And then are, this is when we have these third personal pronouns and the in plural form. Here we have they, which stands for those third personal pronouns that we state he, she, and it. We have this we which is the second personal pronoun, the first personal pronoun, and in a plural form. And then we have you as the second personal pronoun that in plural form can be followed by al. And then here we have the past of verb to be was or were, help you know when to use was and when to use were. Was is used when we have these third personal pronouns, he, she, and it. And then were is used when we have these plural forms of third personal pronouns. And then when we have you, that also can work. Then after this, verb to be in present or in past, you have to use used to, as the expression to be added there. And then this used to mostly is going to be followed by a noun or a gerund. A gerund, we mean that is this verb that looks like with ing form. As we have examples here, you can say that I'm used to waking up. This sentence, which is stated like this, is 100% correct because of the use of this ing form, like goes with a sound of gerund. And then number two, they were used to the hot weather. They were used to the hot weather, to mean like being in the hot weather is not for them, that it doesn't discomfort them, but it really, they still be comfortable with that. And for the third, we have get used to. Get used to, here now you're in the process of becoming familiar. You're in the process of like adopting, the process of being accustomed to something that you really have to be like used to or like familiar to. The structure is the same. The meaning is like becoming comfortable with something which is new most of the time. And then the structure is subject plus gate. Gate also must have the present of verb to be, am, when it is in present. And then mostly because it brings the sense of continuous, that's why we have this gate with ing form, because mostly you will find that it is continuously in the process is in ongoing action. Then here also got can be used when we talk about the past, and then we have will get also can be used in the future as well. So then after this you have to add used to, and then can be followed by a noun, the same sense with be used to, and then with gerund, where we say that this is a verb most of the time with ing form. And then examples as they show here, she's used or she's getting used to driving on the left. In some cases, you may like migrate or travel to another country. For example, let's take a context of Rwanda. You know that the people who are driving, they drive on the right side. But when you travel to another country, you will find that maybe for them they use the left side. At that moment, because it's new to you, but you're in the process of getting used to it or adapting the situation, there you can use get used to when it is in the present. We say that for this she is the third personal pronoun. That brings the sense of this is also the verb to be in present. So don't be confused if is there, because it stands for this get used to. And then we have the example 2, which is she got used to his new job quickly. That's like what means or what goes with got used to or got in the past form. So I would like to thank you for following and being with me in this lesson of today. It was a pleasure. Like for more explanations and the more implementation, the use of these bills to get used to, you are most welcome in Action College. And then we serve you to the extent that you can speak the language as native speakers. Most welcome. Don't forget, like, your success is our priority. Thank you for today.
Gana action, niba ushaka kwiga indimi, gana action, ushaka kuba umusirimu, gana action.